Hello, third graders, and welcome to the second part of our math today. Now, we've been learning about area and rounding, and we've learned a poem to help us round to different place values. Now, in your IXL today, you will also be practicing rounding, but something that I noticed some of us still struggle with is when we are rounding what it needs to look like. So when it says to round by hundreds, that means that the last three digits will be 100. So maybe it's 5,200 or 3,100, but my last three digits are 100. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. If it said to round to the nearest 10, then my last two digits would be 10. Now maybe it's 310 or 820 or 1,230, but my last two digits are 10. So when we're rounding, make sure you're looking at those last two digits. For your assignment today, you'll be completing the odds, and if you get finished in time, you may also do the evens. There are two parts to this. The first part, we have 3-digit numbers, and in the second part, we have 4-digit numbers to the thousands place. Now, let me give you a quick reminder of how we find the rounded number. First, we have to find the place. And our directions say that we need to find the hundreds place. Now, I noticed that it works best if you highlight the place that you have to change. Okay, so I know I have to go either to the next 10 or stay the same. So let me actually highlight both. All right, so I have 58. If I counted up, what would be the next 10? If I go 50, 60 would be my next 10. If I stayed, I would be at 50. Now my 300 does not change. The only thing that will change is from that place value to the right. Now we can apply our poem. Find the place and look next door. 5 and above, give it a shove. 4 and below, let it go. It is an 8, so I'm going to give it a shove to 360. Please write down 360. You may also type it out. If you need to pause the video, you may pause the video. Let's move on to number 3. 864. Oh, Miss Tingley made a mistake. I told you that we need to round to the nearest 100, and I just rounded to the nearest 10. Let's try this one again. If you had your answer on there, go ahead and erase it, and we'll try again. So we'll find the hundreds place. We have the hundreds right here. And if I counted by hundreds, 100, 200, 300, my next one would be 400. And if I stayed, I would stay at 300. Now I can find the place, find my hundreds place, and look next door. 5 and above, give it a shove. 4 and below, let it go. It is a 5, so I would give it a shove to 400. There we are. That looks a little bit better. To the hundreds place. Number 3. Find the place. Now, if I'm counting by 100s, we go 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800. My next one would be 900, or I would stay at 800. So those are my two options. Now I can find the place and look next door. If that next door neighbor is 5 and above, I'll give it a shove. If it's 4 and below, I'll let it go. It is a 6, so that is above. That means I'm going to give it a shove to 900. Number 5. Find the place. We are looking at the hundreds place. If I'm counting by hundreds, 600, 700 would be my next one. The one prior to that would be 600. Then I can find the place, look next door. Would I give it a shove or let it go? 5 and above, give it a shove. Write down 700. If you need to pause the video to catch up, you may pause the video and catch up. I need to see your work on the side, just like mine. Now for the odd numbers on the other side, 9 and 7, you are going to answer those two on your own. Now our directions stayed the same. We are still rounding to the nearest 100, but now we go all the way to the thousands place. So we can start by finding the place. All right, so 400. My next one would be 500. And the one before that would be 400. 400 and then 500. Now I can't forget about everything to the left, because everything to the left stays the same. So my thousands place does not change. Everything to the right changes to a 0, and we already did that. Now I can find my place, look next door, 5 and above, give it a shove, or 4 and below, let it go. What do you think we should do? Let it go. 6,400. Go ahead and make sure that you have all of that written out. Pause the video if you need to. Move down to number 3. We're rounding to the nearest hundreds place, so I find the place. Now if I'm counting by hundreds, this is 600. My next one would be 700. The one before would be 500. And everything to the left stays the same, so I need to make sure I write those down. All right, now I can find the place, look next door. Am I going to do 5 and above, give it a shove, or 4 and below, let it go? It's a 2, so I'm going to let it go. Actually, you can see that I wrote that incorrectly. If I let it go, that means it does not stay, so that should be a 600, 9,600. Number 5, find the place. I can go ahead and write my hundreds right there. The next hundreds would be 300, and everything to the left stays the same. Find the place, look next door. It's a 6. Is that 5 and above? Give it a shove, or 4 below, let it go. That's 5 and above. I'm going to give it a shove to 9,300. On your own, you will have to answer number 9 and number 7. And then you'll be complete for your rounding practice.